Hello, everybody. This is Lips from the band Anvil. You are listening and watching CMS TV.
It's old school metal at its finest from the Metal on Metal CD. That, of course, is the mighty, heavy super band Anvil. And on the phone with me, I'm very honored to have Mr. Steve Lips Kudlow on the line. Lips, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okay, man.
Well, Lips, obviously an interesting time in the world of Anvil. Of all the bands that have come and gone throughout the years, I think the very last band in the world I ever expected to hear about having a movie about them was the band Anvil. So I guess congratulations are in order, man. That's quite an accomplishment.
Well, we've only been at it. I mean, it's a great subject matter considering the band's been around for 35 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole point, that's the whole point of the movies, is the fact that the band's been around for 35 years and never gave up.
Right.
Didn't stop, didn't reform, just kept on going. And we've recorded 13 albums. So why not the band Anvil?
Sure. Oh, I agree. And the thing is, I mean, when you look at some of the bands of your quote-unquote genre or ilk, you guys were one of those bands that I think most old-school metalheads always thought should have been the band instead of, like, I don't know, like an Anthrax or somebody. I'm not asking you to point fingers at other bands, but you guys clearly
the actual facts in the situation are not the level of quality or anything like that. It has to do with the level of luck and the business being with you when you need it. Mm-hmm. And if those things aren't there, you're beat. You know, it just doesn't work. You know, being at the right place at the right time with the right people. And if you haven't got those things all in order, then no matter how good you are, you're not going to get anywhere. I mean, that's the bare, hard, nasty facts of the situation. And that's, I mean, what this really proves at the end of the day is it shows the tenacity of what the metal people are into and the musicians that make it. Okay, after all these years of never really having a break, but actually staying together long enough. And interestingly, what's even more beautiful about all of it, none of it has to do with the actual business. And that's what the most beautiful part of this whole story is that Anvil's existence has not depended on the business as far as record companies and so forth. It's been kept alive strictly by the fans. Everything that we've ever done has been paid for by the fans. So what I'm trying to explain is all the 13 albums that we've recorded have been paid for by the fans. We get an advance from the record company, from the sales of those records. They've paid back those debts and we've moved on. In some cases not, but needless to say, we've moved on. And now, having done that, after virtually decades, a fan came back who became extraordinarily successful in the movie business and decided to make a movie about his favorite band that he felt that had this incredible injustice put upon it. He felt like you did. How is it that all these other bands were able to surpass this, and this was the originator? What's up with that? Well, justice must prevail, I suppose. So he brought it to bringing it to the world. That's what this is all about, and it shows the dedication and the undying faith in what we do and in each other and everything. You know what I mean? It will be a historical moment for metal, no doubt about it.
Now, Lips, were you surprised when you were initially approached to have this story done about you guys? Because I mean, calling it what it is, certainly there's luck involved with, that you touched
some
him
of
so
it, you
much.
know what? Some of it is luck, and I have come to really believe that there's a lot more to it than just luck, in the way that it's as if my 35 years of dedication, there was a reason for it, that it was meant to be, that this was to be a prime example, how metal cannot be ever squashed and ever be put away, that it will always exist because there are people like me, and I am the prime example of it. That's what's going down.
Okay.
I know that sounds full big-headed, but once you see the movie, you'll go, "Oh man, holy fuck!" Pardon my French.
Oh, please go.
Believe me, it's not like I'm full of myself. I am so unegotistical. I couldn't give a darn about that crap. None of it.
Right.
It is so meaningless. I'm about music. I've done this my whole life, not for money, but for the cause. And some people go, "Why did you do this? Well, anybody else would have quit." No. Quit what I love? Quit who I am? Quit in what I believe? Never.
I agree.
And that's what's so powerful. It's so powerful and it's so real. It's in your face, man. It's not like anything you will have ever seen. Let's put it that way.
So, how exactly did you guys get to know Sasha Gervasi? Was he just a fan, or did you know him previously, or what?
Well, what happened was in 1982, we were lucky enough to get asked to play the Donington Monsters of Rock and Donington Festival in England, and along with that show, there was 2 nights at the Marquee Club, also in London, which is the famous club where the Who, the Beatles, Hendrix, you name it, they all played there. We were lucky enough to play there, and he came up to us on the first night at the Marquee, and he was 15 years old at the time, and he was really interesting, a really fascinating kid, absolutely incredible. We didn't realize that he was only 15. It was sometime after that we found out how old he was, because he was quite tall. So it had an illusion of this guy's like 19 years old. He got in without ID. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we were thinking he's a lot older.
Sure.
Anyway, he makes friends with us, and then he says, "Hey man, I know where to get bullet belts and leather jackets and all kinds of stuff. Why don't I take you out on the town tomorrow?" Sure. So we go out on the town, we go trip around, we go to Carnaby Street, we buy leather jackets and bullet belts, and on that particular trip, we met 2 members of the band Candlemass. Now, that's Leif and Mats from Candlemass.
Okay.
We of course, they weren't in Candlemass at the time.
Right.
But they were there in London to come see us at the Marquee. And they were looking for us and finally hunted us down and found us on Carnaby Street. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because when I talk about things that are meant to be, now, okay, we made friends with this guy, Sasha, and he ended up coming to Canada, and he has relatives here, and we took him on little tours and stuff in and around hockey arenas and stuff in around Toronto here. And then, of course, as time goes on, he went on to finish school, and we went our separate ways. Haven't seen him in 15, 20 years. Next thing I know, I'm getting an email from him. But before this email came, we did a festival in Italy. Well, I wasn't really thinking about anything, but 2 members of the band Candlemass happened to be at that festival. They walk into the little change room, and they start telling me that they met me on Carnaby Street. Okay, that's freaking me out. I remember signing autographs to 2 Swedish guys. You're them. Amazing. This is incredible. Okay, more stuff goes down. Okay, I get home, and of course I'm thinking the last time I was on Carnaby Street was with Sasha. I get home, there's an email from Sasha. So I get this email from Sasha, and I'm going, "I thought that you either died or became a lawyer." I mean, this was a really clever kid, okay? And he came from a really sort of upper-class English family that was sending him to all the fancy schools and stuff. So it was not like your average punter, you know what I mean?
Sure.
He was wearing the leather jacket and all the shit, but the real truth is the way that he talked was he had the vocabulary and had the body language of somebody a lot older. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
In time, of course, now here he is in Los Angeles. Became a screenwriter for Steven Spielberg, and he's decided he's going to look up the good old band Anvil because we were such good friends when we were kids.
Wow.
Well, he gets in touch with me, and the next thing I know, I'm down in L.A., and then like 3 weeks after I was down in L.A., he comes back up to Toronto, and I'm sitting at his uncle's place, and he tells me he's going to make a movie about me. So, I mean, that's really unbelievable stuff, man.
Oh,
It's all one in a million, but at that moment I came to realize that that's what my struggle was all about, is for this purpose. If for nothing else, that was what it was for. It was all for the making of a movie.
Sure, it's almost like all the years of injustice for not getting the proper attention pays itself back. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Sasha could have easily been the guy that got tasked. If he could have just said, I want to make a movie about metal, and somebody could have pushed him over to Motley Crue that was hunting directors and whatnot at the time for their Dirt movie, but instead he went with his heart and went back to, something that influenced him all the way back when he was 15 years old. I mean, that's amazing.
Like Sasha, I mean, the whole thing about this story is the connection between the director and the musicians.
Okay.
I mean, that's part of the story, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a major motivator. It's not just, and it goes. It's not the type of movie that is a movie about a performance or anything like that. It is so far from that, and is so unexpected that you will probably be in tears. It's extraordinarily emotional. It's really, really powerful because it's both real life and it's not made up stuff. So when people see things, it's not like it was done for a script,
Sure.
So it has a much more profound effect.
Hey, you. Why are you watching this with commercials? Go commercial-free and unlock exclusive content. Become a VIP today on Locals, Substack, or Rumble Premium. Stop waiting.
One of the things that I noticed over there on the movies website, ANVIL'Themovie.com, is that you have a lot of the reviews that have been posted about the movie itself over there. And the one almost like overwhelming theme is that most of the people went into seeing the movie thinking it was going to be Spinal Tap Part 2, and it's really about as far away from that as it could be. Is that kind of what you're reading by what people are saying as well?
Well, it's at first you get, because there are nuances to it that we purpose, that it's on purpose. We get a big kick out of Spinal Tap,
sure,
like all of us do. But what's really cool is the fact that this is, if somebody's made a movie that the only thing that it can be compared to is that, because that was a mocking of something that's real. This is something that's real that's mocking the copy.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's diametrically opposed to it.
Well,
so that's why it's being compared to it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's the closest thing that you can think of, but it's not a comedy. It has comedy in it, no doubt about it, and there are things like amps that go to 11 and Stonehenge, and there are things, the interview in a delicatessen, you know what I mean? Like there are things that are purposely done to give the flavor of that, but it's not that at all.
Right.
Much more, much deeper, much more emotional, much more, well, it's the real thing, right?
Right, sure.
It's not faking it. When the train pulls out of the station and we miss it, we really miss the train.
Right.
It isn't just a prop.
Right. Well, Lips, I'm curious, man. I mean, what was it like when the first time maybe not the first time you saw the movie, because I'm sure you probably saw it before it hit the screens, but what was it like for you the first time that you actually saw it on a big screen and you were like, holy shit, that's me up there?
It wasn't the feeling, because I'd seen it all on the small screens. It just seemed like a big screen version.
Okay.
I think it was because it was still in the studio. It didn't have as great of effect as the debut at Sundance. And interestingly, I was sitting beside Tom Araya.
Oh, nice.
And we're both just losing it, freaking out, man. I go, how do you think I feel? Fuck, that's me up there, man. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's really, really odd.
Well, it's definitely a testament to one of the bands, and I've said this on the show numerous times, man. You guys, there's a couple of bands, and specifically you guys and the band Exciter, who we actually had on the show tonight a little bit earlier. Between the two bands from Canada that both should have been extremely big, but, for whatever reason, it just did not happen. So it's great to see that you guys are finally getting some much, much overdue respect.
I've no doubt about it. That's a great thing, wonderful thing. It's validation,
right?
After years of trials and tribulations, man.
Does the movie itself not that the batteries were by any means charged down or needing change or anything, but does this revitalize you to come back with more stuff and be harder and heavier next time out? Or
I don't. To me, it's been one long album, so it's really hard for me to put any kind of expectations or look at it any differently than anything else I've ever done. I mean, it's obviously a high point, but it doesn't change me. Like I'm about the only. I feel as though we're the only consistent thing in the mix throughout the years, and only popularity has come up and down.
Right.
That's how I really see it. It's very difficult for me to say, well, we did better songs then, or we're going to do better songs tomorrow, or we're going to do. Everything happens as it happens, and you write songs as you go. It's not something that. The second you start planning that stuff is the second that you lose perspective of what you are, right?
Sure.
You have to naturally grow and move and let things take shape on their own with artwork. That's in a very natural way.
Right.
We went through a lot of transitions over the years, of course. It's as any journey would do. After coming out with the first part of our career was a lot more accessible radio-wise. And what happened was when we began making records into the 90s, we became extraordinarily unaccessible, very, very self-indulgent, very, very heavy, ridiculous.
Right.
And almost in trying to prove that as you get older, you don't necessarily have to get lamer.
Right.
We went actually completely in the opposite direction, and to such a point that the original fans of our band were disturbed by it because they thought we became too heavy. And that actually spawned T-shirts where we had T-shirts that said "Too Heavy for Wimps" on the back. I mean, this is really true stuff. I'm not kidding. That these kind of things, it's really bizarre from my perspective, because it's, you put out an album like that's really, really lots of fast stuff, and then everyone says it's all fast, man. What happened to the slow stuff? So you do the next album and you put slow stuff on it, and then they go, what happened to the fast stuff?
Right.
And, why don't you guys put out an album like Forge and Fire? So you put out an album like Forge and Fire, and then they go, it sounds like Forge and Fire.
Right.
So what I've learned from over the years is that you have to completely shut out what people's opinions are to a great degree.
Okay.
Because I think that what happens is you don't have an opinion of your own.
Right.
And then how do you get a distance on your music to know what you're doing, or whether you like it or not? It's hard to formulate an opinion. So it will definitely, I think it definitely poisons the actual progression of the natural progression. So what you have to do is basically ignore it and go from in the heart, what you feel you'd be proud of and what you feel you're doing the best. So in a long journey that I took, instead of trying to be being something, just be myself.
Right.
It's
exactly.
way easier to do, and that's what people want at the end of the day. They want that individuality, that uniqueness that you possess.
Sure.
Not trying to be something that's outside of that, like pushing your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Some bands do it in the ways of going commercial. We just happen to do it the other direction.
Sure. And
but many bands, well, maybe we can expand, and then they try acoustic guitars and synthesizers and layering thousands of vocals, and before they know it, they sound like shit.
Right.
Because they went too far. But it teach his own, and everybody has their own journey. My journey was one of staying obscure,
right,
which is a great place to be if you're metal. I never sold out. I refused to sell out. I had songs that were hit singles, but what did I do? I put lyrics like "Show me your tits" on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and the song is actually a commercial song.
Right.
If it didn't say that, it would have been on the radio. I mean, and that goes back even as far as 1987 with the song "Mad Dog." I think at this point, MTV it's been refused. It's been banned from MTV, probably because it says "looking for a bitch in heat, begging for a doggy treat." You know, maybe it's the vibrator that's hanging from my holster. I don't know, but I'm just saying that there were things that even in its closest accessible point, it was still really riding the hard edge. It didn't really compromise.
Yeah.
It might have done on a melodic level or even on a commercial level musically, but certainly not on the lyrical aspect.
Sure.
So what I'm trying to say is that I stayed in the obscure either on a subconscious or conscious level. Whatever those reasons were, that's what I did. I think that those are the things that make a movie about a band like that much more magic. Is that we're the band that never sold out, never went big, but yet managed to continue all these years without ever giving in,
Yeah.
sticking to your guns.
Right, and
I mean, that's a great example for metal. We I mean, I can't believe that. I mean, that was my all-time thing, was to make my thing was to make and record as many records as I possibly can during my entire life. That was my goal, and it has been, and still is.
Cool.
It certainly has nothing to do with money.
Right.
At all. You know, so these are the, different guys have different reasons for doing it, different motivations, you know. Some guys, they only do it to get women. You know, give me women and money. I mean, that's certainly what Gene Simmons made a living on or has made a career out of. So it depends on how badly, I suppose, you want those things, you know, and you usually get what you want.
Follow the chaos. The Classic Metal Show is live on X. Stream all the episodes for free, watch the show live every Saturday night, or just get there and find out what is going on with the Classic Metal Show. Get your metal feed, x.com/CMS Rocks.
Right.
If you keep working at it, you know. And I think that ultimately that's what I did. I got exactly what I wanted to do. I think initially my idea was to record like 15, 20 albums and then finally make it big.
Okay.
Because I figured it would be a much, much sweeter day. And in a certain essence, I'm somewhat living that through.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're on album 13.
I'm actually
and
achieving it exactly the way I would have wanted to. It hasn't been easy, and it's been painful, but at the same time, it couldn't have happened at a better time because, of course, now I'm at a different point in my life. Right. I can't go out and slug heavy weights like I was doing earlier in my life.
Okay.
To go make a living, you know, on the side. If there was ever a time that I would love to retire from manual labor, this is it.
Yeah.
You know.
I hear you.
I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit that I've done manual labor and that's what I've had to do in order to make my music. That's what it took, and that's cool.
Sure.
Because I did it.
Sure. That's
you know,
almost.
It's one thing to get caught up in it and never have time to write a song, but it's another thing. I did make time for it. I worked part-time, and I've scrimped and saved and lived on nickels and dimes, man. But the next song must get written. It's always been the most paramount thing for me.
Sure, it's basically the truest of tales of metal. It's not that tale of, oh, let me just have that one single so that I can, you know, be a multimillionaire. It's I'll do anything to do it my way type of an attitude, which has always been the hallmark of what Anvil is.
Yeah, as well as camaraderie. We all love to see our favorite bands stay together. If nothing else, maybe seeing original members still at it.
Sure.
To know that, you know, has a great magic to it as well. And that hasn't been easy. I mean, obviously, you try. I mean, look at the state of marriages. I think only 40% of marriages last. And here I've been with the same guy since I'm 14. I'm 52. So this is it's almost a precedent. It's I mean, the only other two guys that I can think of that could say that they've been playing their whole lives together is John and Mark Gallagher from Raven.
Sure. Yeah.
But I mean, aside from that, I can't think of anybody.
No, not at all.
Other than maybe Mick Jagger and Keith Richards.
Sure. And I guess
but
to some extent,
that's 40 years.
Sure. It's a long time, man. Well, the new movie is called Anvil, the story of Anvil. When can we expect it down on this side, man? I know you guys already have it up there, right?
No, actually, it's what we're doing is there's probably going to be a road touring show where the movie and the band get seen.
Okay, cool.
We're going to try to do some innovative things because this is somewhat of an innovative position that we're in. We have a really, really incredible movie that is backed by a band.
Perfect, right.
Which is really unusual. What they plan to do is have a tour all over the United States and all the major cities, and then eventually it will end up in regular theaters like a regular movie, and then from that into DVD.
Excellent.
So it's got a little ways to go, and what we want to do is we want to build a momentum and people for the word of mouth to really do the trick. We don't want this to become a corporate thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Got to be really grassroots. Got to be like the way that I am. That it's personal. That it's not a little speck on a stage. I'm a person.
Right. I hear you, man. Well, I'll tell you what.
I want to take the God out of the idea that rock stars are gods, man. No, we're human beings, man, and we got faults and we got good things about us, bad things about us, and we're people and we reflect human stuff, man.
Well, Lips,
so that stuff gets forgotten, man.
That's right. Well, before I let you go, Lips, I need to ask you what is known as the traditional classic metal show question. We ask everybody this, but this one probably has some meaning to you because I believe this guy is actually featured in the movie as well. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
I think the raw belief in what you do. That's how he's influenced me. I mean, I early on in my career, I sat in a hotel room with him for over 24 hours discussing life and everything. How did that influence me in a lot of different ways? He had a lot of wisdoms. I don't know whether they're all correct, but most of them are.
Sure.
I mean, one of the most important things I said to him, look at how you've influenced me and how you've influenced others, and he goes, well, I got to tell you, Lips, somebody in 10 years is going to come up and say the same thing to you. And then about 15 years later, I saw him again. I'd seen him a number of times in between, but about 15 years later, he finally asked me, tell me, has any bloke ever come up and told you that you've influenced him like I told you? And I said, yeah. He says, what did I fucking say? Very, very, he's very, very cool.
Excellent.
Really good guy. Down to earth, really. Not much of an ego, really. From my point of view, very, very witty, funny, good guy, man.
Sure. Very cool. Well, the movie itself is called Anvil, the story of Anvil. If you want the latest release from Anvil, that is simply called This Is 13. And Lips, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track. It could be yours, it could be anybody's, and just tell us a quick story about it. So what would you like us to close this up with?
Let's close it up with 666.
All right, and why that one?
Just interesting. This was majorly influential to probably all the speed metal bands that came after it. This song was written probably in 1980, maybe 81, and we finally recorded it in 82. And what's interesting is the title was 666, and it didn't come from the idea didn't really come from as far as devil worship, but it came from the music. The way that the actual verses work is there's one section that's 4 beats, and then there's 3 sections that are 6 beats long. And when I was explaining it to the other guys in the band, I said it's 4, then 6, 6, 6, and I went, let's just call it 666. And then amazingly, in all the spaces were where we put these spaces musically, you were able to chant 6 on all 3 spaces. There was 3 spaces.
Nice.
So it really worked amazing.
Very cool.
Magic.
There
Meant
it is.
to be magic.
Right on. Well, here it is. This is Anvil with 666 right here on your Classic Metal Show.
Your daily metal fix is on Rumble. Watch the Classic Metal Show episodes free or go commercial free with a premium subscription. Find your Classic Metal Show now at rumble.com/c/CMS, rumble.com/c/CMS.